Hi there, Mr. Sutton here, bringing you this IM3-2-1 Extra Practice number 5 solutions on operations with polynomials. This one goes with a puzzle. Let me show you the puzzle. So this puzzle has a riddle we're trying to solve, and that riddle is, what did they say about the man who drank shellac? Well, that doesn't sound healthy. The idea here is we do all these exercises and find our answer in the set of answers to the right of those exercises, and then write the letter of that answer in the box with the number. So for example, let's say I do question 1 and I find that the answer is D. I don't know if that is or not, but then we would put D in box number 1 down here. So it looks like we can go right in order as we go through. So let's get started. So for all the problems on this exercise, on this puzzle, we're going to be using FOIL, that's first, outer, inner, last, or lobster claw, or double distributive. Basic idea on all of these is we have to multiply everything in the first parentheses by everything in the second parentheses, and then combine like terms afterwards. So let's get started with that. X times x, that'll give us x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Our inners here, 4 and x, gives us plus 4x, and then 4 times 2 gives us positive 8. Combining like terms, the 2x and 4x add up to a 6x in the middle. So x squared plus 6x plus 8. We see here that that is answer H, so H goes in box number 1. Here we go with number 2. We got x times x, that's x squared. X times 1 is 1x. And then 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 1 gives us 7. Combining like terms, we've got x plus 7x. That's going to be 8x. So x squared plus 8x plus 7. And it looks like that's going to be answer choice E. So E goes in box number 2. Here we are on this problem, multiplying this out. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 6 times x, that's negative 6x. Negative 6 times negative 3, that's going to give us positive 18. So combining like terms, we've got x squared, and in the middle now these combine to give us negative 9x, and then we still have that plus 18 out there. So x squared minus 9x plus 18, that's h. So we have an h under spot number 3. Let's go ahead with this problem now. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. 8 times x is 8x, positive. 8 times negative 2, that's negative 16x, or 16 rather, no x there. So combining like terms, negative 2 and 8 is going to give us a 6x in the middle. X squared plus 6x minus 16 is choice A, so that's going in spot 4. On this problem, we're going to go and FOIL this out. So x times x, our first is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. Negative 7 times x, negative 7x. And then negative 7 times 4, we've got negative 28. 4x minus 7x gives us a negative 3x in the middle. And looking for that in our answer choices, we see that matches D. So box 5 is going to be a D. So we're seeing some things that could be words here. I'm thinking maybe we have a he and a had, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and lobster claw this one out. We got x times x is x squared. X times negative 9, that's negative 9x. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And negative 2 times negative 9 gives us a positive 18. Negative 9 and negative 2 combine to give us a negative 11 in the middle with an x. So x squared minus 11x plus 18. Looks like that's an A going in spot number 6. So we've made it to the second set of 6 problems, and we see that these are a little bit more interesting, a little bit more going on. You'll notice if you look at all the answers now, these all are going to have u's in them instead of x's, so that's a little bit of a change. Also, we don't have an a value of 1 anymore. Like this isn't 1u squared. These are all going to be numbers because we've got some different factors that aren't just u anymore going on in here. So let's go ahead and claw this one out. We have 2u times u is 2u squared. 2u times 1 is just plus 2u, so that's not so bad. 4 times u is 4u, just for u. And then 4 times 1 is 4. So combining our like terms, we have a 6u in the middle to go along with our 2u squared and our 4. So let me see here. 2u squared plus 6u plus 4, that's L going in spot 7. For this one, we have 3u plus 7 times u minus 3. So foiling that out, 3u times u, that's 3u squared. 3u times negative 3, that's negative 9u. Let's see, 7 times u is 7u. And then 7 times negative 3, that's negative 21. So we've got 3u squared, and this is going to be a minus 2u in the middle if we combine the negative 9 and 7. And then we still have the minus 21. So that's going to be O right there, and that goes in spot number 8. On this next one now, we've got 4u minus 2 times 5u minus 1. Foiling this out, 4u times 5u, that's going to be 20u squared. 4u times negative 1, that's a negative 4u. Negative 2 times 5u is going to be negative 10u. And then negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Combining the negative 4 and negative 10u's in the middle, that's going to be a negative 14u going along with the 20u squared and the 2. So that's going to be a v right here, and that's going in spot 9. Let's get going on this next one. We have a 2u times 9u, that's 18u squared. 2u times negative 5 is negative 10u. And then 1 times these is going to be easy. That's just a 9u and a negative 5. So we have 18u squared, and in the middle now, negative 10 and plus 9, that's going to be a negative 1u, and then a minus 5. So let's see, 18, we need an 18, a negative u, a negative 5. That's all choice E, and that goes under 10. Now we've got 7u minus 4 times 3u plus 6. 7u times 3u, that's 21u squared. 7u times 6, that's going to be a plus 42u. And then negative 4 times 3u, that's a negative 12u. Finally, negative 4 times 6, negative 24. 42u minus 12u, that's going to be a 30u for combining those like terms. So we have 21u squared, 30u minus 24, and that's going to be L going under 11. Next up, we have 5u minus 8 times 4u minus 4. So some bigger numbers than we've been seeing in prior problems. 5u times 20, or 40u actually, is 20u squared. I almost said the answer a little bit early. 5u times negative 4, that's negative 20u. Negative 8 times 4u, that's negative 32u. And then negative 8 times negative 4, that's a plus 32. So I have 20u squared, and in the middle, combining these u to the firsts, I've got a negative 52u, and then a plus 32. So that's going to be choice Y, and that's going under spot number 12 there. So we made it through another 6, and it looks like it spelled out the word lovely. So he had a lovely, and then we have to get the rest of this now. Things have gotten even more interesting on the types of problems. You'll notice now we have both x's and y's, so 2 variables to keep track of. Let's keep going, though. We're going to foil this thing out. So 2x times x is 2x squared, nothing new there. 2x times 3y, now we have a 6xy. There's nothing else you can do with the 2 different variables. Y times x, we're going to call that plus xy, or plus 1xy. We like to write them in alphabetical order. And then y times 3y, that's 3y squared. So the only like terms here that have the same variables are going to be the xy's in the middle. So we have a 2x squared plus a 6 plus 1 is 7xy, and then plus a 3y squared. And that looks like it's going to be choice F, so that goes under 13. All right, here's another one of these. 3x times 8x, that's 24x squared. 3x times negative y, that's negative 3xy. Negative y times 8x, that's negative 8xy. And then negative y times negative y is a positive y squared. These xy's combine to give us an 11, a negative 11 xy in the middle. So 24x squared minus 11xy plus y squared, which is going to be choice I, going under spot 14. So for this, we have a 2x plus y times 4x minus 3y. 2x times 4x is 8x squared. 2x times negative 3y, that's negative 6xy. Y times 4x is a plus 4xy. And y times negative 3y squared, that's a negative 3y rather, is going to be a negative 3y squared that we get from that. Negative 6 and positive 4, that combines to give us negative 2xy in the middle. And 8x squared minus 2xy minus 3y squared, that's going to be this choice n right here. So that goes under box 15. We've decided to up the ante a little bit on this problem. There's no variables with a coefficient of 1 anymore. So we've got 5x times 3x is 15x squared. 5x times 4y, that's a 20xy. Negative 2y times 3x, that's negative 6xy. And then negative 2y times 4y, that's negative 8y squared. 20xy minus 6xy, that's 14xy in the middle. So 15x squared plus 14xy minus 8y squared. That looks like that's going to be this I right here. So that's going in spot 16. Let's go ahead and FOIL this next one out. 7x times x, that's 7x squared. 7x times 2y is 14xy. 3y times x, that's 3xy. And 3y times 2y, that's 6y squared. 14 and 3 combines to give us a 17xy in the middle. And 7x squared plus 17xy plus 6y is going to be this s right here. So 17 is an s. And I'm pretty sure I know what that last word is, but let's just do that last problem just for the sake of doing it. So for this one, we're going to do 6x times 2x to get 12x squared. And then 6x and negative 4y multiplies to negative 24xy. 6y and 2x, that multiplies for 12xy. And then 6y times negative 4y, that's negative 24y squared. Negative 24xy plus 12xy, that's going to give us a negative 12xy in the middle. So we have 12x squared minus 12xy minus 24y squared. Lots of x's and y's, but there's no more like terms to combine. And if we look in our answer choices, we see all that stuff over in choice H here. So we've got H there for spot 18. All right, so we filled out all our boxes. It's time to go ahead and solve this riddle. What did they say about the man who drank shellac? So we have a he, H-E, and then looks like the next word's had. And then it looks like A is the next thing here. And then lovely, I can see that word in there. He had a lovely, and then our last letters here, it looks like they spell out finish. He had a lovely finish. Oh, because shellac is how you finish things, and if you actually drink it, you're going to finish your life, so don't do that. There we go. Very nice. Mr. Sutton signing off.